Again for That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly. That Business Show gives a voice to Tampa Bay's entrepreneurial community and highlights our community leaders, aiming to inspire and educate our listeners. Become a part of the entrepreneurial movement today by becoming a member of the Tampa Bay Business Owners and get your brand on air today. Visit TampaBayRadio.com for more information. All shows available on demand. Now, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. We're here Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., and also learn more at TampaBayRadio.com. Joined in studio by my co-host, Kelly Wilson, owner of the Edge Business Community and Edge Business Magazine. Kelly, good morning to you.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday.
And same to you. And we're going to be talking about food and wine with Joanie Corneil in this segment.
Food, wine, and books.
And books as well. She's the
and burgers.
And burgers.
She is the co-owner of Bella's Italian Café, and you can learn more about this at bellasitaliancafe.com, and also Square One Burgers here in Tampa, of which there's several locations. So we welcome Joanie into the discussion. Good morning.
Welcome,
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
And so I find from time to time people are not familiar with Bella's and its location, but for people that are not familiar with this hidden gem in South Tampa, tell us a little bit about Bella's.
Okay. Well, we are located at 1413 South Howard Avenue. That's about a block or so from Bayshore Boulevard. And we opened that store in 1986 in July, so we celebrated our 30th anniversary last summer.
That's amazing.
It is. I don't know where it went. Where did the time go?
I was just talking. I actually talk about that every day. The time goes so fast.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Well, and you're very familiar with it because you're friends with Larry, our famous bar manager, and that moved to Tampa with Bill Shoemate and I in 1986. He worked for us in Oklahoma City, and he has been behind that bar all this time. And
that's amazing. So 26. That's just, I can't believe he's been there that long.
Yeah.
He is a permanent fixture of Bella's.
He is.
Now, you are the chef behind all the
Yes,
creations, and also
yes.
she's brought us a book, Bella's, with all the different creations that are in there, and she holds nothing back. You've pretty much told us the entire secrets to your restaurant and everything with inside of this book.
And actually, we worked on the book for 2 years, and I say we because it took a village to get this thing printed, but because I wanted for the home chef to have what they made at home from my recipe. I wanted it to have the same flavor profile as what we serve in the restaurant. So in order to do that, we tested every tomato. We tested every, olive oils from shopping at Florida's favorite grocery store. And so in the back of the book, there's like a pantry section where it tells you what type of tomato or what type of olive oil, all this list of ingredients, so that when you make it at home, it's going to come out tasting like
as close as
spaghetti
possible,
and
right?
cartoccio. Yes, and so we started selling the book about 4 months ago, and I have had literally dozens of responses from people saying, I made my favorite pasta al mare, and it came out exactly right. And that's what I wanted to hear. That was my goal.
How excited are you at that point to see so many happy people that are making your dishes?
Yeah, it makes it all worthwhile, because
that's great.
When you are a chef or you're a home chef and you make something for 2 or 3 people, and then you blow it up when you're in the restaurant and you are making it for, how many people do we serve in a week? 6,000 or something like that. The recipe's a little different. So when you do a book, then you have to pare that back down. And it took a while.
Make it for what? What are typical servings? 2 to 4?
2 to 4, yes. 2 to 4.
Now, you just launched the book 4 months ago.
Yes.
I assume it's available inside the store for sale. How can people pick up a copy of Bella's?
In the store. Also, online, you can go to bellasitaliancafe.com, and it's also available on Amazon.
Okay.
And for the holidays, it's getting close. If you haven't done all your shopping,
it's a great Christmas gift.
Yes, we have a great deal. You buy 5, get 1. All the way up to buy 100 and get 20. For those of you with big families.
Right. It is a perfect gift. I was just thinking that.
Now, your menu was inspired by your time spent in Italy. Tell us a little about your time there and how you came to become inspired to open a restaurant.
I lived in Italy in the late 70s. That tells you how old I am. And actually, I worked at the NATO base there as a civilian. And then I just embraced the whole country, and particularly the food.
Were you a self-taught chef?
Yes.
Did you learn to cook in Italy?
No, I had cooked my whole life.
Okay, but you've refined it in
Yes.
Italy. You became in love with the Italian culture and Italian food over in Italy.
Exactly. And I think in a past life I must have been Italian because it just came naturally to me, and it still does. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a drop of Italian blood in me, but my heart's Italian.
Right.
So
It's interesting how that happens.
yeah, it
Where are
is.
the big chain restaurants going wrong with their Italian food when you go into the chain restaurants? What are they doing? Is it because they bring in stuff frozen? It's just not as fresh. I mean, versus what you can get at Bella's. Where are they going wrong? Because sometimes you get Italian that's just
I wouldn't
horrible.
presume to say other than, every day you have to start fresh. And like I run higher labor in my kitchen because we make 99% of everything. We have like 2 pastas on the menu, bow ties, and then a stuffed pasta that we don't make. We make our, pizza dough. We make our bread. We make all of our desserts, every sauce. And then also when it comes to get that fresh flavor in a tomato sauce, like this spaghetti, like the spaghetti and cartoccio. This is actually from the area of Gaeta, which is just north of Naples, about an hour and a half. But tomatoes there, they don't take tomatoes and cook those things down for hours and hours. Like when our basil tomato sauce, it's put together with basil, fresh basil and fresh parsley and garlic, and it's not cooked until you come in and order it. So it's only brought up to temperature and it's done. You cook it longer, and I think that's what you're talking about when you're saying the big
big box chains. Yeah,
that maybe I don't want to criticize, but that's how. Let me just say that's how I make my sauces. So they copy what you get in Italy, and I was just talking to your photographer, and he was expounding on the food in Italy, and it does have a different profile than.
No, I just know the quality of the Italian food of Bella's is
It's
second to
amazing.
none in Tampa. But if you go to Carrabba's or one of those other places, I mean, it's good food. I'm not saying anything's wrong, but it's just not the same quality because I'm not a chef, but I'm assuming it's because they bring in stuff frozen and left stuff sit around, and it just doesn't come out as fresh.
Well, and like you won't. I think I have like 1 or 2 things, and I'm not even dishes, and I'm not even sure if they're in the book, but that have like oregano in it. Well, oregano is that herb that I just don't care for, and where I lived in Italy, oregano was not used, and so I don't put that in anything really. And I think that some of the other restaurants that you're talking about, it's strong,
Yeah.
and it's
I think most Italian restaurants use.
dried oregano.
It's one of their most
So
popular
that's a key
spices,
difference in between what food is cooked in Italy versus how it's prepared in America. You see more oregano used here versus overseas.
Yeah, I mean, in there, Italy is just like the United States. If you get fried chicken in North Carolina, it's different than the fried chicken that we cook in Oklahoma. Everybody has their different ways of doing things. So I'm not saying there's not oregano in Italy. It's just where I lived, it was not.
Are there other
wasn't
differences between the Italian cuisine we're used to in America versus how it's served or prepared in Italy? I bring that up because I was surprised to learn last year that the Chinese food that we eat here in America is nothing like Chinese food
Right,
overseas.
right.
But are there distinct differences like that in the Italian culture? How it's
Well,
served?
I mean, there are similarities, but like one thing that bothers me is that Italian food in America that has seafood in it, people still put cheese on it, and I cringe because in Italy you would never mix cheese and seafood. That's probably the
It's
biggest.
interesting to know.
Yeah, yeah. So when you get the spaghetti and cartoccio, you like that recipe there, I can tell. People will say, "Oh yes, I'll have Parmesan on that." I'm like, it just doesn't go.
Because authentically, you wouldn't
No,
use that.
no.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, what's that saying? Let's see. what is it? The cow may love the fish, and the fish may love the cow, but where would they live? Okay, so
That's new to me. I don't know that line.
I don't think it was a cow, but anyway.
It works, right? That's interesting. Okay.
But yeah, you get that at Italian restaurants. They come around with the Parmesan cheese, which is like Parmesan on top. So that's not something that you see in
Well, yes,
Italy.
they put Parmesan on things, but they just don't put it on seafood.
Just not on the seafood. A distinct difference there.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the signature dishes at Bella's?
Our biggest seller is Polo Milano, and it's chicken breast, and it's we roast garlic, just big pans of garlic cloves in olive oil, and then it's pureed, and then we make a sauce out of that with a little bit of fresh sage, and it's just amazing. That's our biggest seller. Some of the old ones that have been on there forever. Salsiccia al forno, pasta al mare, confetti spaghetti. I had somebody say that to me last night. I've never had anything there but confetti spaghetti, and I always say I'm going to order something different, and I get there, and I always order confetti spaghetti. Then our pizzas, we have a wood burning oven.
Those are amazing.
We do the thinner crust.
And your sauce is delicious.
Yeah. It's not cooked until it goes on the pizza. So it brings out that freshness in the tomato because it's not reduced. Tomatoes are acid. You keep reducing them, and it's
Well, I've noticed when
heartburn.
I always like extra sauce, but I've learned to ask for it earlier on when I order, because if not, it takes a while to get it because they're making the sauce and they're bringing it to you fresh. So it comes to you very hot, and it takes a while to get it out to your food, which is great to know that it's not just in a I was going to say bucket in the back, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Talk to us about the availability of wine in the restaurant. How extensive is the wine collection at Bella's?
Our wine list is not huge. It's a one page, and we keep around 90 to 100, and we change our wine list every 8 to 10 weeks, something like that. We're making a change right after the first of the year, because we tend to bulk up the number of reds in the winter, and then in the summer we put on more whites, and so we are constantly changing. We serve so many wines by the glass, and probably around 40.
Well, you got to have wine with Italian food. It just goes hand in hand.
Absolutely.
So
I have a funny story. When we moved to Tampa, and we met Bern and Gert Laxer immediately, and they would come down for lunch 2 or 3 times a week. And before we got opened, and he said, what is your wine going to be? And I said, well, we're going to start out with at least 18 by the glass. And Bern said to me, he said, you are going to be pouring wine down the drain. I'm like, no. We've got this cool system we're putting in, this Cruvenet system that will preserve the wine. Well, we opened up and had so many wines served so many by the glass. We never put it in the system because we poured wine off so quickly. And anyway, and then, now if you look at Bern's menu by the glass, he's got hundreds by the glass. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, we were in 1986 to serve more than 2 or 3 bottles by the glass was unheard of. And I said, no, we're going to do this. And our wine sales are, we sell a lot of wine.
Years ago, you had to buy a bottle? They didn't sell it by the glass?
Most places they would have a Chablis. Remember that word? Chablis. Or some people down here would call it Chablis, which was really funny.
That's funny.
Well, hold that point right there. I got to take a break. We'll continue that talking point when we come back from the break, and also talk about your other brand, which is Square One Burgers, on That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today, or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews, and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews, and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank. And that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
A disabled truck on the eastbound side of the Howard Franklin Bridge just east of the hump has the right lane blocked there, so expect about a 10-minute delay if you're heading over towards Tampa. Also delays on westbound I-4 approaching downtown Tampa from the Selma Connector to 275, and eastbound I-4 slow from before 557 out to US 27 due to a crash in the median there. See traffic problems, call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick, Hillsborough. Traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Someone you know is suffering from Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. They're dealing with excruciating pain and days when they won't be able to get out of bed. Help someone you know and support the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America at ccfa.org.
Cold front moves in this morning with a chance of showers, then partly cloudy in the afternoon, high 78. Tonight cooler with a low in the upper 50s. Tomorrow partly cloudy and pleasant, high 75.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed the show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Talking to Joanie Corneil, co-owner of Bella's Italian Cafe and also Square One Burgers, which we'll talk about now. Learn more about the Bella's at bellasitaliancafe.com. And Joanie, Square One Burgers, you have several of those locations. What was the inspiration to go from the Italian business into burgers and fries?
My partner in Bella's, Bill Shoemate, started out in the burger business in 1964 in Oklahoma, in Norman, across the street from the University of Oklahoma. And it was called Across the Street, original.
That's cool.
And it was a burger place where you would order at the table on a telephone into the kitchen, and everyone in this room probably does not remember that. But anyway, it was a really cool place, and pitchers of beer. And he just loved the burger business. He'd been talking about going back into that for many years. So we started kind of doing research in 2006, and we opened the first one in 2008 in Tampa. And we now have 10 locations from Gainesville down to Fort Myers. And this year we opened in Winter Park.
Now, I asked during the break why you chose not to expand Bella's, but you said you did, and it didn't, take off the way like a Square One is.
Right.
Is it just that our culture wants the burgers and fries more than Italian?
Well, and we opened the other two Bella's, one in the late 80s and one in 1991. And the areas we went into just didn't quite didn't understand the concept of fresh pasta and pizza coming out of a wood-fired oven. It was just a little foreign, whereas it took off like gangbusters in South Tampa. The other areas, it just didn't take off.
Well, I love Square One too. I love Bella's. It's been a favorite for years. But I love the burgers and fries and the onion rings and all the stuff that is probably not always so good for you, but it's just amazingly delicious.
For the people that aren't familiar with Square One, how would you differentiate it from other burger joints? What makes it unique?
Every protein that we serve is the best that we can buy, and quality-wise. And there's lots of controversy right now over the truth in menu and. If you say you bought your tomatoes from XYZ farm, you need to have purchased those from XYZ farm. Well, what we do is whether it's a tomato, which a tomato should never be refrigerated. That's my huge mantra.
That's our tip for the day.
That is never refrigerate
a
tomato. And so, and then the proteins from the Angus to buffalo to the lamb, Kobe, everything we purchase is the best that money can buy. And our toppings, our specialty burgers are very, very creative. I mean, we do, like last weekend we did shishito burger with great fired shishito peppers with brie cheese.
Oh,
I mean,
it
is amazing.
There's so many different choices. There's so many different varieties of different things. There's something for everyone.
Right. And people say, well, burgers aren't that healthy. Well, anything can be made on a green bowl. Our chicken is especially ground for us. It is 70% white meat, 30% dark, no added fat, which most chicken burgers that you would buy frozen or from a purveyor has added fat to it. They don't tell you that. So our quality is amazing, and our salads, our soups are really, really great. And you can come in and have a great beer, craft beer, a glass of wine. We have an incredible cocktail menu. So it's something for all the families. I mean, over 50% of the people that come in bring in their children.
Well, I know we're just about out of time, but any great advice? You've been so successful now over the last 30 years with Bella's and Square One. What advice or one main tip would you give for fellow entrepreneurs and aspiring business owners?
30 seconds.
I think that people say, how do you keep a restaurant open for 30 years? Every day you start over again. You treat it like it's your first day of business.
All right, Joanie Corneil, co-owner of Bella's Italian Cafe. Good discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Joanie.
having me.
Happy holidays.
And
Same
learn
to
more,
you.
bellasitaliancafe.com. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Hi, I'm Kelly Ham from Billmeyer Ham Consulting. Did you know that one of the biggest challenges that leaders face is getting their employees to be engaged, motivated, and producing amazing business results? At Billmeyer Ham Consulting, we'll help you transform your workforce culture from one that might be underperforming, maybe mediocre, to achieving amazing business results. You see, we realize that your workforce culture is equally as important as your business plan and your business strategy. The two must be aligned in order for you to reach your desired business and financial goals.
Hey, Carol.
Hey, Jim.
I just got this plan that could really help with our process here.
Okay, why don't you just have a seat and let's go over it.
Let us help you transform your workforce culture by leveraging your most important assets, your people. I want to know what's going on in your organization. Let us help you transform your workforce culture. Let's have a conversation.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Hampson, Uterick, Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by TampaYMCA.org.
Healthy holidays start at the Y. Join the YMCA with a friend and receive 20% off both your memberships for life. Sign up before December 31st and get a $25 Y gift certificate as well. A healthy you is at the top of our holiday wish list. So visit TampaYMCA.org today.
1250 winds weather center forecasts. A little cooler today, upper 70s, mix of sun and cloud, should stay dry. Overnight lows in the low 60s. Forecast about the same for the next few days. Could see some showers on Thursday. Friday, look for cooler weather, low 70s. Impact Radio 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed the show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Joined alongside Kelly Wilson, owner of the Edge Business Community and Edge Business Magazine. So, Kelly, how are you doing? How are you enjoying the show today?
I'm good. It's been great. We've had a great show so far today. I mean, we do every day, but it's been exceptionally great and just getting better.
Yeah, and we're going to move the discussion into the awesomeness of Tampa Bay. We have Joe Malinowski, who is the lead seeker of awesomeness. That's his brand. Tampa Bay is awesome. And also joined alongside Sven Bormeister, who is the who is the publisher of Global Village World. And they put out a lot of great books about different areas across the globe. And they just completed the Best of Tampa Bay edition of the program. And that business show is in there. Tampa Bay business owners are in there. Just a lot of quality brands are inside of that book. And Joe, I believe you're in there too, right?
I am. Yep. I've got two little cameos, both of which happen to have me with a beer, though. So.
And that's one of the brands inside Tampa Bay is awesome, is the beer that you have developed. And by the way, it's an amazing beer.
Yeah, we tried it. We were at Yeoman's, right.
Nice.
I saw it on tap. I knew my friend Joe had the beer, and that was the first time I said, actually, I think I had tried it at an event prior. But, yeah, I definitely have fallen in love with the beer. I mean, how does one come to invent a beer?
Well, we can't take any of that credit at all. We could take credit for getting it out into the market, but
you got to name it, basically.
Shout out.
Well, it's a good beer nonetheless.
Well, thank you, but big shout out to Barley Mow Brewing. They're over in Largo. Jay Dingman and his team, we kind of talked with him about what we were thinking and said, hey, do you want to participate with this idea with Sven and I, and let's see how it goes.
But so you went and commissioned a beer, just like I guess somebody could go commission a film or whatnot. You hire the makers and they put something together for you. Is that how
in
it
a
come
sense?
Together?
We tried. They had some beers that we really liked. We liked the profile of them. We liked the lightness of them, and we thought it would kind of be an all-day drinking beer. And we're like, hey, can we figure out a way to do something similar to this so it isn't necessarily just exactly one of their brands with our label on it? And he's like, let's try it out. I mean, fortunately, we had a pretty substantial audience. So, I mean, when we get into places, the beer's moving. The challenge now is just to get it to stay on tap. So we just have so much variety in Tampa Bay.
The brand Tampa Bay is awesome. This is an umbrella brand over a few different things. Educate the listeners on what Tampa Bay is awesome is.
So I set it up about 3 years ago just to really be a huge promotional tool for everything that's awesome that's happening around town. You know, we've got so many different communities that are just focusing on marketing themselves. They're not necessarily concerned with marketing each other across Bay. So I just created one page at a time and invested a few dollars in each one, built it up.
Didn't this begin as a Facebook page?
It still is. I mean, it's driven through Facebook.
Is that how it began?
Absolutely.
So you built this, was it a Facebook group then?
Well, actually, the funny thing is it actually started as a food blog where I was like, I'm going to go eat 30 sandwiches in 30 days, which I don't want to do that again. As much as I love sandwiches. So it started with that, and then I was just, let's do something that's community-based, and we just launched the Downtown Tampa's Awesome Facebook page. We made a goofy dancing video. We started doing fun stuff.
You just started tagging a lot of stuff with the word "awesome" behind of it, and kind of caught fire there in the community.
Well, with the concept of internet marketing, you learned really quickly that when you're marketing something that's a statement, it's a lot easier to get followers on. So businesses are constantly like, "Why doesn't anyone follow my Facebook page?" It's like, because no one cares about your brand. Like, it isn't about the brand; it's about what your brand is accomplishing. So think of something that's a statement, and you can get a lot more people to follow and participate much bigger and much faster. So kind of prove that with awesome concepts. And I mean, we've got 80 pages around the world. We've got Botswana is awesome. Cape Town is awesome.
Okay, so this brand is extended outside of just Tampa Bay now. So you've got other cities that are awesome.
Absolutely. I mean, when Sven and I got to connect earlier this year when I was speaking at a TBBO conference, we were like, let's figure this out. And we're still figuring it out, but we've got pages everywhere. Books have already been everywhere. So now we're kind of like, how do they marry together and leverage the online side of what we got going?
And let's talk with Sven. Throw the microphone over to Sven Bormeester here, the publisher of Global Village World. I was fortunate to meet him and his new wife last year. First off, congratulations on the marriage and everything.
Thanks, John.
And you came into Tampa Bay. You're a world traveler. You've published books on places from around the globe, and you came into Tampa Bay and you wanted to highlight Tampa Bay, and you've done this in an amazing book, Best of Tampa Bay. But for people that are not familiar with the Global Village World brand, tell us about what it is that you do.
Right. Well, essentially, we publish annual books that showcase all the top companies and the entrepreneurs in each of the cities. It generally starts off with an introduction from the mayor or the president, depending on the size of the city or the country. Mm-hmm. And this is something I started about 10 years ago. First book was in South Africa, and then I moved to Dubai. And 10 years later.
You've got a whole series of these, but like 60, 70 different books.
60-odd countries.
Yeah, because when we were talking about getting a spot in the book, you showed us, I think in my office we have the Best of France, Best of Paris. Yeah. I mean, it's just an amazing collection. It takes you about a year to assemble this and publish this, correct?
Yeah, I mean, depending. I was new in town when I arrived. I had to figure it out. So
that makes it challenging, I'm sure.
Yeah, it does. But
if you're traveling to different countries and cities, you're new every time you go somewhere. I would think, right? You're always
no, that's not true. I published the first 5 or 6 countries myself. And then I would say the last 7 years I've been traveling around meeting local partners, that actually know the town, like Tapelo from Botswana. He does Best of Botswana and many of the other African countries. But I teach what I do to other people, and I license it out almost like a franchise. Except, of course, now that I live in Tampa, I've married the girl, so I thought,
now you're stuck here.
You're staying.
Let me do it myself. I wanted to meet everybody, and I also wanted to discover how this concept would work in the U.S. It's slightly different in each country, you see. And
right, because this started abroad, and you just came to. I think is Tampa Bay the first American city that the book was
pretty
done?
much. We did. Although I had some colleagues did a book on DC for Obama's inauguration, but that was more a governmental book. But this is really the first of its kind in the U.S. And the market does behave differently here, but it is by far the most interesting market for us. I mean, it really worked extremely well. We didn't sell a single advert in here, so it's a completely different business model. It's purely done on book sales, and
so overseas and abroad, it's easier to sell the advertisements. In America,
yeah,
it's a little bit tougher.
In many of them, they still have some some adverts in it, and it's more a pay to play model. Where here, it's we really kept it 100% authentic and made the book. that comprehensive and gave it a value, and we sold 4,000 copies already. So
yeah, no, it's an amazing book. Where can people get this? The globalvillage.world website, or all the publications available there? Where else can people pick this up? Because this is a masterpiece.
Well, it's only just come out, really. Obviously the easiest, you just go to globalvillage.world and you just click on the book, it's $65, and you'll have it in 2 days.
And
so if anyone wants to pick any up for the holidays, Christmas is just around the corner. There's still time to get them.
Sure.
Great.
And also, and then now we're busy working with the airports and the Oxford exchanges, and we'll put them into various shops.
This brand highlighted Tampa Bay. Now you have plans to be more specific, right? The best of Tampa, for instance, the best of St. Petersburg. Is that still on the outlook for the brand?
Well, I mean, I have to do every single city in the U.S.
That's a big challenge.
Is that the plan?
Yeah, for sure. There's more than 100 books to publish. And I mean, we've been out a couple of weeks. We've got about, I think, 7 cities have started. We've got business. I've done a partnership with Business Journal in Charlotte. So we're doing the Best of Charlotte there together. I have a team about to start in Fort Lauderdale, a team in Sarasota, Naples.
What is it about Tampa that struck you as so unique that you wanted to start in Tampa? You were, coming from overseas.
It was the girl.
No,
was it the girl?
It
wasn't the girl. Okay.
There was nothing more to it than that.
Came after the fact, not the shortchanger.
It was a fantastic market to start, though. I mean, I was quite lucky in that respect because, if I had to start in New York, it would have been a lot. There's enough being published about those cities.
Right.
Tampa was really, it needed it and wanted it. It was a story untold, and it's such a friendly, easy to do. It's easy to do business here as well. You see, so it was a pleasure to do it.
And good people, and just welcoming people. We all kind of work together. It makes it easy.
Joe, let's throw it back over to you. Your brand is, awesome. Tampa Bay is awesome. And so for people out there, what is it about Tampa that's got you excited and it makes it so awesome?
Everything. The coolest thing about, the collaboration that Sven and I have created with these books is I've kind of been meeting a lot of these people over the last few years, So, one of the books that we're working on and kind of contemplating is this Best of Clearwater book. And right now, people kind of just think of it as the beach, but off the beach, they're doing a lot of really cool stuff that no one knows about.
Yeah, I don't know much. I don't go to Clearwater except for the beach.
Exactly. So, I mean, we use the Clearwater Beach Awesome page to showcase some of that stuff and say, hey, downtown is doing a lot of redevelopment. I mean, we've got, Vinnick, and then Clearwater, St. Pete's got Bill Edwards groups. Clearwater doesn't necessarily have a group, but they do have a lot of people that are like, we've really got to figure this out because, they are driving the tourism in Pinellas County. So you just get to see so much behind the scenes. There's so many awesome things, so many restaurants, so many fun little, behind the scenes, kind of off the beaten path.
And Clearwater's been doing so much lately. I've not been over there, and it's been a while, but it's interesting. You can bypass downtown, right? And if you're going to the beaches,
exactly.
So I think sometimes that it gets overlooked because nobody wants to take the that there's additional stoplights that it takes to go through it. So how much has that been redeveloped now over the last few years?
They actually I was meeting with them last week. They gave me the whole plan. They've had I think a different architectural team and some big study teams come in and really lay out what the opportunity is and around what the growth is, what land is available. They're redoing a ton of stuff at Coachman Park.
Is it the Scientology? Is that still overtaking most of Clearwater?
Well, it's a big community there, but there's, they contribute to the tax base as far as consumer stuff. And they own buildings, they own different businesses, but
it seemed like
the community is
like
it overlooks.
I was there, it seemed like they own so much of it.
They do. They really do. But there's so much other business that kind of falls into we don't do stuff in Clearwater because there's, all these Scientology people.
Right.
There's so many other businesses that kind of suffer from it because they're just there's so many cool little places here.
It's
we just
probably
need people
sad,
to go check it out.
But I walked in for a business meeting. There was another office business that I was going to within the main Scientology, and I didn't want to breathe when I walked in there. I thought there might be vapors coming through vents in some way that you're gonna be cultish. And I don't know anything about Scientology, so I'm not speaking.
Yeah, be careful what you say about Scientologists now.
No, I don't know anything about it. But anyway, I was leery of it. You just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, throw it over to Sven there.
Obviously, one of the joys of putting these books together is you get to meet, almost every single business person in town. And obviously doing the run through Clearwater, I met many Scientologists. And when I first arrived here, I didn't even know what it was in South Africa, or in my world of Dubai, it was just didn't exist. So I had to learn about it, and I have. And
are they going to have a section in the book on Clearwater?
No, I'm not. We don't do politics. We don't do religion. That's not what our books are about. But I've met many of the people, and many of them are hardworking, honest people that have great businesses, and I think the whole stigma around it is a little bit overblown. And I think if people actually sat and met some of these people, there's a lot of bullshit flying around, and I think people must get over it.
Which is probably why you almost feel like you don't want to breathe.
Currently talking to
sorry to go there.
Currently talking to Sven Bormeister, a publisher of the Global Village World brand. Learn more about them at globalvillage.world. And also alongside Joe Malinowski, who is the owner of the Tampa Bay is Awesome brand. Learn more about them at tampabayisawesome.com. Coming back from the break, I want to talk with Joe a little bit more about building a community, something that he has done very well with this awesome brand of his. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal, and most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you.
Well, what was a pretty easy drive on the roads around Tampa Bay has turned into a headache for drivers on the eastbound Howard Franklin Bridge. Disabled truck off on the right-hand shoulder now is blocking 2 lanes due to the fact it's leaking fuel, and traffic slow from 4th Street. May want to consider the Gandy Bridge or the Courtney Campbell Causeway instead. Also, we're seeing delays still on eastbound I-4 and approaching US 27. Crash there now cleared up. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick Hillsborough. Traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. MAD is here to help. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. That's MADD.org.
Cloudy with a slight chance of rain. Cooler and less humid. High 78. Cooler tonight, low 62. Tomorrow, partly cloudy. High 75.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed the show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Talking with Sven Bormeester, publisher of the Tampa Bay, Best of Tampa Bay brand, along with many other brands across the globe. Learn more about them at globalvillage.world, and also alongside Joe Malinowski, creator of the Tampa Bay is Awesome brand, in which other cities are now awesome as well. He's developed this brand. And let's talk about, building a group or building a community. When did you first see this opportunity, and how did all this come about?
Well, this kind of became just like the fun passion project, and kind of would be figured out how to monetize it over time. And fortunately, over the last 3 years, every couple of months, we figure out a different way to make it something that is not just fun and cool and awesome, but actually does have some profitability to it. And I think one of the coolest parts that we've identified over the last few years when I've been working with any one of my friends or our own projects is it's a lot easier to build a community and then launch a product or a brand than it is to start the other way around. We launched Biz Women Rock the same way. Katie Kremitzos, she's rocking it. But then we set up the Biz Women Rock Facebook page in January. I forgot what year it was. Built it up to 20,000 people and then launched a podcast. So we're launching with a group of interested people all the time. So kind of how it's worked really well for Sven and I with the book side of things is we spent the last 2 or 3 years building the foundation for how to show off all these amazing people that don't necessarily get a lot of
So build your
visibility.
community, build up the influence, and then
Absolutely.
you'll be able to monetize it after the fact. Don't try to do that beforehand. Don't try to get the product before the community, or else you won't have as good as results as what you're saying.
Absolutely. It's not even, it's about the results, but it's just so much about, work on what you're excited about. People set up companies because they think they have a great product idea. They're not necessarily excited about the product. They just are excited about the revenue that could be generated from it.
How do you get your members of your community early on to engage? I see a lot of people set up groups, and including my own. I recently just set up That Business Show and network. But, how do you get them to engage? Does the admins just have to constantly have to jumpstart the group with a lot of different posts and engagement? Is there a way to kind of get them excited, or if the brand's exciting, they'll be engaged?
It's a little bit about the brand's exciting and they'll be engaged. We're fortunate to have groups of photographers that all have access directly to our Facebook pages. So it's not all of our stuff and all of what we create. So they're filling that up. We've now got 340 pages of a book and all the great people throughout Tampa Bay to upload to our site, share those great stories. And you identify what your audience reacts the best with. I can't screw up in Clearwater. If I just post a sunset, it's going to get in front of 100,000 people. But in Ybor, you don't have that. So you got to find what those different communities are going to engage with. Like if I posted a little time lapse of someone getting a tattoo, that could actually do pretty well in Ybor, where in downtown Tampa, that's not going to do very well. So you get a sense for how each community is going to, bob and weave and keep you on your toes and figure out, all right, these posts are terrible. These posts work every time. Can we do little videos? We had a video in Clearwater Beach the other day shot by Diamond View Studios, and they got in front of like 500,000 people in like 48 hours. So you got to align yourself with people doing really awesome stuff. And
so how would you advise business owners and listeners out there that are listening right now to use the Tampa Bay is Awesome community groups? I assume this is a public group that people can go and join?
No, there are actually no groups. They're all Facebook pages.
They're Facebook
Tampa
pages.
Bay is awesome. Downtown Tampa, South Tampa is awesome. St. Pete's awesome. They're all Facebook pages. We work the best with fun businesses, so it's not really like a good B2B spot. Restaurants, bars, festivals, fitness, fun, entertaining things. Those are our supporters. We made it. It's $26 a month. We're not getting rich off $26. It just helps us keep funding the development of the groups.
That business show is awesome.
Business show,
we got that business show network.
Awesome.
I just started up.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you've started a beer off of this that we talked about earlier. What other products or opportunities are down the line now for the Awesome brand?
Well, I think the biggest thing, which I'm going to let Sven chat about it, is how we're aligning what the Awesome concepts have created and what these books have already done and been doing around the world, because that's really where I think the both of us are going to be able to scale out in a different way than either of us had the opportunity to in the past. So,
all right, Sven, now we got about a minute and a half left if you want to elaborate on what he was saying there with the synergy here.
Sure. I've always been a print guy. So then when I met Joe, and I remember trying to put up my own Facebook page, and I'd get to 1,000, and he's got 80,000. I always wondered how he did that. So we thought, okay, well, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. Let's combine it, and then we started in South Africa. Cape Town is awesome, and that's also already 40,000. So he's got a magic sauce on how to get these followers. So it was natural that we just tell all my partners, listen, let's just listen to Joe and follow suit.
All right.
And off we go.
All right. Well, good discussion. Sven Bormeister and Joe Malinowski. Greatly appreciate you both being in studio and for what you're doing to help Tampa Bay.
Congratulations on all your success.
All right. And learn more about them at globalvillage.world and also about Joe at tampabayisawesome.com. Learn more about this program, and you can join our Facebook network now. We just set that up a couple weeks ago, that business show network. So we invite you in there on Facebook, and also our fan page. If you would like that, we would greatly appreciate that. So that's just some of the placement with social media on the program. If you'd like to come onto the program, please visit tbsinterview.com and more on the program at tampabayradio.com. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.